the fearsome foursome all hanging out. But Miguel Hito, sadly enough, is manning the bar. And
He's working for a living.
I say sadly because I still haven't gotten my goddamn beer that I ordered like 5 minutes ago.
And I feel comfortable saying working for a living because Miguel's not here and he's not going to sing it when I get done. So that's awesome.
Oh, we got a phone call here. Another one.
At ESB, we've got a phone call coming in right now. Go ahead and answer it.
Cranial Mission Show.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Is this Mr. Alex Luchin?
Yes, speaking.
This is the great, the powerful, the omnipresent Alex Luchin. I just met him this Wednesday, so I don't know if he's any of those things. Three things. I do know
I'm definitely powerful, like really in like the thigh area. Got real meaty thighs.
Well, that part I did figure out when we were hanging out at the bar. I mean, that part I didn't know when we were hanging out at the bar. But what I
call
do
me the Nutcracker.
But what I do know is that you're a funny guy. I was at the Fox and Hound on Wednesday. They actually had a little stand-up comedian thing going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Alex was one of the guys that went up there. Guy cracked me up. Now, Alex, you're performing out of Orlando. Is that correct?
I am, yes, yeah. And then I go on tour throughout the Southeast every so often as well.
So, what was your take from your first experience here in Brandon doing stand-up?
Oh, it was good. Everyone was having a good time and a cool little place to go. And I mean, everyone was laughing. There was one table that had the whatever syndrome makes you cross your arms and stare at people. They had that one.
They were French, I think, probably. They just didn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
We are talking to Alex Luchin, stand-up comedian here on the Cranial Mission Show. Ben Charles, Miguel Hito, the C Squared, the Reverend Joey T, all hanging out, talking to Alex. And so you're on the circuit. You said you're touring around the Southeast. So take us through the average month in the life of Alex in terms of your comedy tour. I mean, what's the average month entail for you when you're going around and doing different gigs?
Well, it depends because certain months aren't as heavy as others. But like in let's say like some months I might be. I do a show called Life's a Gift, which is a stand-up comedy variety show. A little bit of a audience participation game where we have a large box full of like suggestions of things you can do on stage, and it just involves the crowd to do stuff. So when I'm on tour with that, pretty much we book it all up. We go out on the road, and being in Orlando, it's kind of hard because you have to hit like pretty much places that are in Florida first because they're close, but then the next place you can really go to is Atlanta. But we started finding some smaller towns that had spots. So we end up hitting like a couple of other little towns playing this game that they've never seen before, and most likely has never of its type has ever come through that area too. So that's always a lot of fun. But for the most part, it's a lot of driving and it's a lot of waiting around and a lot of texting and posting and things like that, and Twitter and Instagram, wherever you can do it, and just to bring people out if you can. And we're lucky because a lot of the places where we go, we already have friends that give us a pretty decent write-up or a little opinion. So that's always great to have.
Absolutely. Quick question for you, and if you're married, please excuse my question, and maybe you could answer for other people out there. But do stand-up comedians, you guys get groupies?
In some ways, yeah. In some ways. But I will say that there's a really funny guy, his name's Dwayne Kennedy, and he has a joke about it. And it goes basically, it's kind of hard to act out without seeing it. But he talks about like, man, if you're a musician, groupies will come up and they were like, you're a really good musician, But
right.
And want to spend some time with you. But comedians, it's generally more or less they come up to you and go, you were really funny, turn around and walk away.
Right, okay. So you got to keep them laughing.
There are groupies, but they're few and far between in comparison.
So then there's no like random parking lot hand jobs or anything.
There are, but you just got to negotiate for a full-on blowjob.
Oh, okay.
Well, Alex, you always got to negotiate for a full-on blowjob. You never. Look, as the Jewish host of the Cranial Mission Show, I've been trying to teach these guys forever that you always renegotiate the deal. You always retrade the deal.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to throw in a new deal right before that hand comes to shake it, just so you can snake them into it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Quite literally snake them into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I got all the grifts for you. I got them all.
So how long you been doing stand-up?
About 5 years, and then prior to that, though, I did like music and theater and improv and stuff like that. So falling into stand-up was actually just finding something that fit more perfectly for me. So yeah, 5 years. Let's see, is it 5 years this November or 6 years this?
Yeah.
6 years this film. I don't even know. See, that's how long it is.
Yeah,
It'll
time
destroy
flies,
you.
man. Time
It'll
flies
destroy
when
your
you're
mind.
Take all your time. But let me ask you another question. Stand up, you said it's easier. You found your kind of niche, and I play in a band myself, and I find it hard sometimes to get everybody on the same page. Is that kind of where stand up? That's the reason why I think Robert Plant went solo, man. He was like, I'm sick of messing with Jimmy Page. Do you find that it's a lot easier just because you're the only one calling the shots?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, being in a band is like having 5 other girlfriends. Like,
it
you're
is.
just
It's worse.
constantly trying to please somebody, but then every time you go in for band practice, it's like, okay, where do you want to eat tonight? Anything's fine. Okay, let's go to Applebee's. Nah, not Applebee's. So in that case with music, you can be like, hey, let's play something maybe a little more jammy, throw a little chicken pick and twang on that. And then everyone's like, nah.
Yeah,
everyone's down to play anything. So,
it's actually worse than having.
Like,
it's worse than having 5 girlfriends because not only you got to deal with the 5 guys in your band, you got to deal with all their girlfriends. So it's actually like having 10, it's like having 10 girlfriends, man. To be honest with you,
it's actually a lot like having a radio show, Alex. It really is, and it's funny because your anniversary date is parallel to ours. Our anniversary date is November as well. It'll be 5 years for us, Joey. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe that we've been doing this shit for 5 years, but.
Oh no, I have no problem believing it.
But it's it's one of those things where it starts out. I mean, what was it, Alex? When you were a kid, did it start from there? I mean, was there a period in your life where you realized? Take us back to your path in life.
Probably when you got in trouble in school.
Was there a time when you realized that were you the class clown? Were you the guy that made people laugh? Did you know that you had this comedic type of calling before?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, back then, though, when you're young, people just call you queer. But then, as you get older,
they only do that when you're young?
What happened for me is, like, I realized I liked a lot of funny things, and I liked to laugh.
But they still do that to me when I'm old, Alex.
And a lot of that stuff didn't completely translate or make sense to a lot of kids my age. So there was a long time there where, like, you kind of feel like you're a little bit of an outcast because you're weird. But then as time goes on, you realize that, like, oh, there's people that do this stuff. They're weirdos too. How do I do that? So I think eventually it just moved on to me just accepting it and being like, well, no, I want to be friends with the other weirdos. And then you stop worrying about everything. That's pretty much how that happened. But I call myself like class clown for, I think I got that as like a thing in the yearbook. But in the scheme of things, like,
Who are some of the inspirations? I mean, who are some of the people that inspired you in comedy, or even to this day? I mean, who are some of your idols?
Well, I guess like growing up, like when I was really young, like Robin Williams and who else?
Dangerfield, come on, you gotta love some Dangerfield.
Well, here's the thing: I grew up in like a really Christian home,
Oh.
so a lot of those kind of more risque people, I really didn't get to. I didn't really get to ever see until I got older.
Yeah, no Richard Pryor, probably, huh? Red Fox is out. Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was a bunch of stuff, but I mean, a lot of that I've since forgotten. But a lot of cartoons like Animaniacs.
Oh, that was great.
Stuff like that. That was rather like more irreverent for the time and kind of wacky. I always really liked that kind of stuff. And then I guess as I got older, though, Mitch Hedberg and Robin Williams again. And,
good call.
And tons more performers. I went through a Gallagher phase where I thought Gallagher was awesome.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, now he's just like a racist who drinks scotch out of his trunk. So,
Yeah, isn't he the original Carrot Top? Isn't that what that kind of mixed up there? I don't know.
He didn't do prop comedy so much as he just had the Smash-O-Matic thing. But
well, he had that big couch, man. Remember that big couch he would do? I hate to admit it, I was a little bit of a Gallagher fan as well.
Yeah.
I've probably seen all the stuff. He had that. He was slightly a prop comic. I think Carrot Top was a big fan. Is all I'm saying, man. I think he probably liked him.
But I will say this too, though, is that Carrot Top I was definitely a fan of because. I think I saw him on TV a couple times. I still honestly think prop comedy is hilarious. But I will never lower myself to do it. Just kidding there. But still, I do really like prop comedy. It's funny because, puns are always fun. But he was I was a big fan of his stuff. His books were available at like the bookstore, and I would always go to the humor section and read the the comics and cartoons and stuff. So I remember always seeing his books. So I would say that's one of them too.
Alex, as an aspiring stand-up comedian, what are your thoughts about random quaaludes and supermodels?
What? Say again?
What are your thoughts about random Quaaludes and supermodels as a stand-up comedian?
It's pretty simple, really. I mean, it's hard to find Quaaludes, so I'm probably just going to get some edibles for my dude.
Dude, I noticed that. It's so hard to find Quaaludes nowadays. Bill Cosby is leading us astray.
They think they don't make them. A lot of people say they don't make them anymore, but they do. They're
Mexico.
under a different name.
You got to go to Mexico to get them, man. I'm telling you. I got a hookup down there.
You can take half a Xanax like an adult.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't got to get all Quaaluded the hell out, man. That's ridiculous.
I don't know about the banging supermodels thing though, because supermodels aren't really built to my taste. I like a girl with a little more meat on her bones.
BBW, huh? Look. Yeah, BBW,
no, I'm
man.
gonna back up on there. I'm gonna back up on that phrase. No, I don't think that's what.
I'm sorry.
And not that I'm not slighting them, but that's maybe not to my taste.
Hey, listen, man. Every day you got to eat. Some days it's filet mignon, some days it's bologna, but you got to eat every day, man. Remember that.
Sometimes it's both.
Yeah, hey, if you can work it out, dude. Sometimes you got.
Yeah, why not?
Sometimes you got to do the bologna just to get to the filet mignon because they're friends or something. You know what I mean?
It's a grenade. Yeah, you jump on your own grenade.
Both of them go on the same bread.
Hey, can I ask you one more question? Because I'm curious. I mean, up until now, it seems like the apex of any stand-up comedian's career was to get like a sitcom or something like that. Is that the way you're headed, or I mean, is that still what most comedians are looking for in the end? Because I mean, there's only a few like Dane Cooks who like get that huge. And I'm not saying he's great or nothing. I just mean, but he's got a good audience and probably making a lot of money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he went the college direction, but he did all the specials and things like that, and acted in a few movies. I think really originally it was to get the sitcom, but that was during the time when the sitcom was it. That was just what everybody wanted if they were an actor. That's constant work. But now there's so many different ways to make money doing comedy that a lot of people, and just doing straight up stand-up specifically, that people can make a living if they are to that level where you would be offered a sitcom. So now they don't really, a good example is Gerard Carmichael, young kid.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I was just watching him on, I want to say about a year ago. I was watching him on The Comedy Store, a nobody, and now he's got his own sitcom. And the weirdest thing is that it's kind of a rarity that you see sitcoms, because now you look at John Mulaney, who got a sitcom called Mulaney, and it was a complete bust.
Oh, it was horrible.
Absolute bust. So
I didn't like
really
his stand-up a lot,
that's even a viable career option for comedians anyway. If it's a viable career option for an actor,
right?
Either
reality shows. Reality TV's taken over. I mean, the sitcom was huge, and then they found out we didn't have to pay actors anymore. We could just get idiots to act for free on TV.
But Gerard Carmichael, his stand-up, the most recent stand-up I saw for Gerard Carmichael, was absolutely brilliant. And it's very shocking.
Really
it's very uncomfortable, his humor. Which, a lot like how Louis C.K. has that uncomfortable kind of feeling to things.
Yeah, he talks about masturbation.
But that's a beautiful thing about comedy. I mean, you talk about these type of comedians, and, Alex, maybe this is part of the appeal for you as well. I mean, it is a way for comedians to get a certain message across, to provoke thought, to get people to address certain issues and concerns that maybe they're afraid to do ordinarily, by doing so in a funny way.
That's the overall beauty of stand-up, is just, for the moment in time that I present you with a thought, that you kind of have to think about it. I'm forcing you to. You're in a dark room. I'm the only one there. Everyone's facing me, and I bring something up to you that you have to think about. Now, in my mind, I want to make you think about something differently. I want you to look at something, a little bit more askewed, instead of that direct thing, you can make all the really simple jokes like black people do this and white people do this.
Right.
And that's a really great premise still, if you do it right. You have to be able to make something, really funny about it. You can't just be like, simple and stupid.
Yeah, don't steal somebody else's
something
joke.
That people don't really think about as much, that's when you start getting good, and when you can start doing that and making and having a message or a voice.
His name is Alex Luchin. We're talking to him here live on the Crane Mission Show. Alex, we actually have an international audience somehow. I have no idea why.
That's awesome.
I cannot fathom why any of these people listen to us here domestically, let alone internationally. But where can people find you? I mean, if someone wants to go online, do you have a website? Do you have some kind of social media destination that they can find you?
Yeah, the easiest way is to go onto Instagram or Twitter and look up Brunch with Alex. Brunch with Alex, BRUNCHWITHALEX.
Is that like breakfast with Tiffany? Similar?
That's That's Twitter.
Okay,
and Instagram. And then you can just look up my full name.